What's up, YouTube? It's Mid-Range again. I am Dean, that is Brent, and today we're going to cover the Western Conference Finals, the matchup we didn't think we were going to get, but we deserve because Denver is balling. They eliminate the Clippers. Now their reward for booting the overhyped clown show that was the Clippers is they get to play the real LA team. They get to play the Lakers. Brent, what are you thinking about this matchup? Because I'm excited.
Yes. I like it because I like these teams that are left in the playoffs, period. East and West are hard playing teams. Like, they just go in, they put it all on the line. You got guys diving places, you got guys hitting big shots, guys that are up for the moment. And I believe that this series won't disappoint as well. I know the Lakers on paper and what we've talked about the whole season, they should probably handle the Nuggets, and people say that Nuggets, be lucky to take one, but that's what they thought about the Nuggets against the Clippers. So I just am excited.
Yeah,
Yourself?
I'm excited too, man. I think this is going to be great. Let's get right into it. There's a couple matchups that have to be talked about. Jokic is playing out of his mind. People are saying he reminds them of a tall, white Magic Johnson with his passing. And it's going to be really interesting because the Lakers bigs did not play in the previous series. They're going to get some run here. So Jokic is going to see a lot of different looks. He's going to see McGee, he's going to see Howard, and he's going to see AD. What do you think about that matchup?
I think Jokic on offense, no matter what people throw at him in the playoffs, he's tended to overcome it eventually. Especially if you're going to double team him like the Clippers tried. He may not score 20, but he's going to get 10, 12 assists. He hit the boards really hard, fooled around and got a triple-double.
Yeah, he was picking them apart. He picked them apart.
Game. So I think the Lakers have to be very careful with him because they like to run that high pick and roll with him and Murray, and that pulls whoever's defending him kind of away from the basket. And AD being a good rim defender and things like that. Now Lakers may try to overcome it by not putting AD on him and putting another big in the game with them and putting like McGee and letting AD stay on the weak side like that. And that may be what they do. They have the big bodies to throw at Denver. So it is definitely going to be an uphill battle for Jokic, but I still think he'll do well. May not be every single game, but I think he still needs some. He's gonna take a lot of attention from them.
Yeah, just quickly on those matchups, I don't think McGee is a good matchup because I think McGee isn't strong enough to handle Jokic. I think Dwight Howard I think he'll get some run. He's stronger, and his defense has been pretty good. Between him and McGee, they've actually been decent this year. But I think in crunch time, it's going to come down to AD. And the thing, and it's having those different matchups, something the Clippers couldn't throw at him. I think it's gonna be more difficult for him. It's not gonna be easy for sure. And it's been proven throughout their regular season meetings, the Lakers taking 3 out of 4, although most of those were really close games, that he had problems with AD because AD's a great defender and he's really athletic. So that matchup is going to be really fun to watch. I agree. That high pick and roll with Murray, that's going to be their go-to, and it's going to be interesting to see how the Lakers adjust because let's be honest, they haven't been hugely tested just yet. They've lost both their game ones, but after that, they made adjustments and really had solid game plans, so credit to their coaching staff. Let's quickly look at the other main component for Denver, and that is Murray. How do you like his matchup against the Lakers defenders? You're talking about Green, KCP, Caruso, and Rondo. How do you think he fares against that group of defenders?
I honestly think, again, that high pick and roll helps him. You know what I mean? Because he's doing it with a 7-footer, that can shoot out there as well. So that helps both of them, and it's a very major part of the Nuggets offense, where both him and Jokic can get off on you, hit those jumpers, or take it to the basket. Jokic tends to more likely going to shoot the jumper. He's not going to put it on the floor a lot, but he will. But Murray will take it to the basket. I think that the other Laker defenders, like you mentioned, that's not LeBron, Murray can score on them, but they play great. They're playing really good defense, so it's going to be tough. But I always think that if the rubber meets the road and they're having trouble stopping him, they're going to put somebody like LeBron on him every now and then.
That's a tough matchup for LeBron.
It's hard for LeBron, but because I think Murray can first step him and get around him. But we've seen LeBron close that gap really fast on other players, even in the playoffs, and then swat their stuff up against the glass. It's still something that the Nuggets have to pay attention to. The key is for Murray is he's going to have to make some of those great step back shots and stuff like that. I don't think he's going to get a lot of open looks because they know he's not coming in unknown. I mean, they know that they have to really pay attention to him.
My guess is the Lakers are going to watch some tape from that last series and not throw double teams at Jokic every single time he touches the ball.
That's right.
This Lakers guard group, I think at the beginning of the year, there was a ton of concerns about them being able to guard anybody. And I think they've shown that collectively they can defend. They, as one-on-one defenders, they don't have anybody that can stop a lot of these guards, but their team defense has been really, really good. Harden didn't shoot that great in that series. He got a lot of his points from the line. So that's I think that the Lakers will make adjustments as the series goes on. I think it'll be a longer series. But I think Murray's going to have some 40-point performances against these Laker teams in order for them to really, truly have a shot. Yep. Okay, so last thing to talk about. Who is your X factor in this series? Who could swing this for the Lakers? Who could swing it for Denver? Because I think it's even more important for Denver to have an X factor.
Yes. Actually, I'm going old school. We haven't seen this as an X factor in the last several years from this perimeter game that's been going on, but I think this series is the battle of the bigs. I honestly think that the X factor is the Joker, Nikola Jokic. Just what he did to the Clippers, he picked them apart. He facilitated, he scored, he rebounded. I think that he is a bigger factor than Murray, because Murray you're more afraid of scoring. Right? Mm-hmm. You're afraid that he's going to hit some big shots or things like that. Jokic is picking people apart on all fronts. You know what I mean? His main thing is he can't get in foul trouble trying to guard AD, or they may not even put him on AD. I don't know how they can get away with that, but he tends to reach a lot because he can't really jump. Jokic can barely jump over a phone book probably, but but if he just puts his hands up and just is big under the basket and not try to like swipe the ball and get stupid fouls, I think that he'll be a major factor. And on the other side, I think the same thing with AD. I think Jokic should attack AD. If they put AD on Jokic, they need to see if they can get AD in foul trouble. Yep. And actually just keep on feeding him the ball. AD, I think the same thing with the Lakers, but LeBron can always take over. Yeah. But I still think it's AD.
I think X factors outside of the four major players, AD, LeBron, and Jokic, Murray. I think the combo of probably Grant and Craig and how they defend LeBron, because my guess is those are going to be two people that he sees a lot of. And Grant played really well in this last series. He's got his work cut out for him, because although he's taller than LeBron, I believe, he's definitely not built like LeBron. So how he defends.
Is anybody built like LeBron?
No, true story. And then on the other side, I think the X factor is Kyle Kuzma. He's surprisingly been playing really well defensively. He's been cutting to the hoop really spectacularly. And as you have all this focus on AD and LeBron, it's always like, which role player is going to step up? And I think with Kuzma's finally realizing his role on this team and really putting effort on the defensive end and continuing to cut with purpose, I think he could be a huge determining factor in this series, especially if his three ball starts dropping. The combination of Kuzma and one last guy that has been much maligned these entire playoffs, Danny Green. He has been taking a lot of heat from everybody. And if his three starts dropping, it's going to be such a boost for the Lakers that
Right.
because they're all about spacing, and when his shot is not dropping and Kuzma's outside shot's not dropping, or KCP, they're just a different team when they're able to be not even great from outside, just, you know, reliable, right? Like if you're wide open, you got to knock it down. So those are my X factors, the main one being Kuzma. I also believe quickly that AD, this is the series where he supplants LeBron as the number one on the team. And that might sound crazy, but AD is, if you look at his points, he's higher than LeBron. His defensive impact, although LeBron is playing amazing defense, the swats on Westbrook last series were awesome. But I think at some point, and I'm not saying LeBron's on the decline, but he's not, you know, 2010 LeBron. He's not 2012 LeBron. He's still the best player in the world, but I think AD has a chance to go from top 5 to top 2 player in the game in this series. What do you think about that?
I agree. I think LeBron wants that. I know even when they first got together, LeBron was even known saying, hey, look, I want you to be the guy that we go to. I want you to be, we're going to feed you. We're going to take advantage of all your talents. And rightfully so. I mean, looks like he's a ballerina playing basketball out there. I mean, Chucker AD is skilled. So, and LeBron, he picks and chooses where he needs to shine. I don't think he has it in his legs to have to do that night in and night out. He's in this like 17th season.
Especially this, like, every other day playing. The fact that they got that the 5 days rest or whatever they've had is huge for those old legs. Game 1, I wouldn't be surprised if they look but still that rest is going to be big. All right, so let's get to the bottom line. Give me your pick and in how many games. Who you got winning the series and going to the finals?
I'm pretty sure I know who I do just the opposition. I think the Lakers are going to win.
Okay.
And I think the Lakers are going to win in 6.
Well, this is going to be boring because I have the Lakers in 6. I think that it's going to be a really entertaining series. I think there will be a lot of close games. And I think the world of Denver, I think they've played amazing, but I just think you have LeBron and AD, and in a game that usually the best players win the series, unless your name is Paul George and Kawhi Leonard, usually it'll go to the team with the better stars. And I think if LA gets the support from the role players that they need, then it should be a 6-2, not an easy series, but a decisive series. So
Denver's not going to make it easy on them.
No, definitely. I mean, they've shown they got hard.
I think the NBA Finals, whatever teams show up there, they're going to be tired.
Oh, they're all going to go to Cancun after this. That's for sure. All right, so that's going to be it for us. We actually broke down the Eastern Conference Finals. You can catch that. I'm going to put a little thing right up there so you can click that and check that video out. But for now, enjoy the games, guys. We'll catch up with you. We'll review some of them and talk about them. But hit the subscribe button. Give us a like. Drop us a comment. Do you agree with what we're saying here? Or do you think we're off of our rocker? But
break down the game for us.
Yeah. Tell us how stupid we are. Don't do that. That's rude and mean. And I have feelings. So, all right. So, Brent, what's your outro, man? What do you got for us today?
I thought I'd pull from White Men Can't Jump since we were talking about Jokic.
I can identify with this.
And just a Wesley Snipes quote that was just funny to me that says, you can put a cat in an oven, but that don't make it a biscuit.
All right.
We're out on that.
We are out on that. All right, guys. Peace.